Okay, so integration of I think there's a cosecant square of x and a 1 plus cotan of x, right? Okay, sorry. Um, and this was one of the question everybody gets stuck on. I think a lot of people got stuck on this question, but I did tell you that usually is u substitution. U is equal to inside a parenthesis. Or also think about this too. Think about u substitution. U is equal to inside parenthesis usually. And the second things I told you says is u and think about du. So in this case, u is equal to 1 plus cotan of x. Du is equal to negative cosecant square of x dx. Du over negative cosecant square of x dx. And that's going to be integration of cosecant square of x. This is u, and this is du over negative cosecant square of x. This cancel out. That's going to be integration of u du, and that's u squared over 2 minus plus c. And that's equal to negative 1 plus cotan of x squared over 2 plus c. Okay. Any other question to go over? Okay, we're gonna go to kinematic then. What's question 12? dy over dx equal to what?
Negative 40 over parentheses 3x plus 5.
Like this?
And then parentheses negative 1.
Okay, this one just find out what a y is. In order to find y, you need a separation variable, which is negative 48 over 3x plus 5 to the third. Integration of both sides. If you integration of both sides, u equal to 3x plus 5, just like what I told you, du equal to 3 dx, and du over 3 equal to dx. Is that okay? So that'd be negative 48 over u to the third, and then du over 3. So this will cancel up to be negative 16. Integration of u to the negative 3 du. Is that okay? And that's going to be u to the negative 2 over negative 2. Negative 16 plus c. So it'll be 8 over 3x plus 5 to the third plus c equal to f of x. Any question here? Is it good? Did I make a mistake? To the second, right? Okay, so now I'm going to plug in 3 and then plug in negative 1. So that is going to be negative 1 squared plus c. C is equal to negative 5. Is that good? C is negative 5. Oh, sorry. This one negative 2. I can count. C equal to negative 2, so it'll be 3 equal to 4. Wait, sorry, 2. Plus c. C is equal to 1. Sorry. So 8 over 3x plus 5 to the second plus 1. That's the f of x. I can't do like negative 3 plus 5. All right. Kinematic. No, my. No, man. No comment. Okay. Okay, so beginning of the year, I talk about kinematic, but now we're gonna put everything and together. Give you overall picture. Today, your homework first one is a multiple choice. First, there was two. First one is all multiple choice. Second one has a multiple choice free response, and only do question 13. So you don't need to do the free response part because it's not needed. So let's start with S, V, and A. And S stand for, what does S stand for? Well, here we're gonna say S of T, V of T, A of T, right? What is S of T known as here? Positions. Thank you. And this is equal to velocity. And this is equal to acceleration. Now, as far as units goes, and this unit is going to evolve with the next lesson. So actually understand this part. The unit, if we, between meter and second, this would have been meter. This would have been meter per second. This would be meter per second square. By knowing this relationship, it does help you on lots of different things. Now, obviously, if you're going down like this, you are taking what? What? Derivative, thank you. If you're going up, what does it do? But integral, you're gonna have plus c, right? Don't forget plus c, right? If every time you integral, it's gonna be plus c, and that's something that usually we forget. In physics and math, they are two different things, but we'll start talking about what is this. It's a negative 16t squared plus v0t plus s0. Do you guys know what function, what kind of name for this function? S of t equal to negative 16t squared plus v0t plus s0 is what? What's it called? Well, there's part free falling, but there's something else there too. Start with P. Not problem. Thank you, projectile motion. Thank you. Projectile motion. And basically it's in 1D, which is things gonna go up and it's gonna come down. In physics, we use negative 9.8 meter per second square is the acceleration. In math, we don't use that because math is kind of backward. We still use imperial system, which is what? Do you guys know? 32, thank you. Negative 32 feet per second square. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the negative 32. So I'm gonna say let's integrate A of t. If I integrate A of t, it'd be integrate negative 32 dt. What is that going to be? If I integrate negative 32, what am I gonna get? Negative 32 t plus c. Is that okay? That's v of t equal to negative 32 t plus c. Do you guys know what a c is? What a c is in this case?
Gravity?
No.
No.
Somebody say something right over there.
Position.
It's not position.
Initial velocity.
Who says initial position? Eli? Okay. Are you taking physics?
No.
You would do great in physics. V of t is equal to negative 32 t. Think about it. If I were to plug in 0 for time, what am I going to get? Negative 32 times 0 plus c, right? C must be V0, right? V of 0, right? And it's also known as a V0 notation like that. So therefore, V of t is actually negative 32t plus V0. Can I do one more? Let's do integration of v of t. What am I going to get? S of t, right? If I integrate v of t, am I going to get s of t? Okay, so what's integrate of v of t? Negative 32t plus v0 dt. So what's integration of negative 32t? Negative 16t squared, which is, that's the free fall part. Plus v0t plus s0. Not s0, plus c. But obviously you know, if I plug in 0 here, I'm going to be negative 16 times 0 squared plus v0 times 0 plus c. C must equal to s of 0, which is known as s0 like this. So that's why the projectile function is this way. Can you open your eye bigger? That's so racist. Korean doesn't have smaller eye than Chinese people. Yeah. That's why in Korea, the most popular thing in Korea is what? Yep. They are like they have like a whole, like, you can actually go to like a plastic surgery tour in Korea. Okay. So that's S of t. S of t is that. Now, we know a little bit about the relationship with position, velocity, acceleration. If I integrate it, it's going to get the other way. So I'm just kind of give you an overview of everything. But let's just say if I have a velocity graph, right? Let's assume that I have a velocity graph like this. I'm gonna say this is a velocity graph like this. And that says Eli, how many miles you can run an hour? No. How many miles you can run in an hour? Yeah, mile per hour. Yeah. No. We're talking about speed, but we're talking about how many miles you can travel in an hour. But speed could be varied, right? If he can have different velocity, sometimes his tire is gonna run into like 5 miles per hour. Sometimes he's like on the end, he's gonna run 10 miles per hour. So okay, just say 6. Okay, so this is 6 miles. So this is 6. This is 6. And if you run for 4 hours, how many miles he's gonna run? 6. If this is 6 is mph right here, and we run for 4 hours, how many he will run? Do 24, right? So basically, the integration is 6, right? Integration velocity between 0 to 4, right? So that's gonna be 6 times 4 minus 6 times 0. Right? The 6. That's just a little bit of talking about a displacement, right? Okay. So that's a velocity graph. So sometimes we give you a velocity graph, we're gonna ask you looking for different things. So first of all, let's analyze the velocity graph. Let's say velocity equal to 0. Let's say if I have some type of particle, we're gonna assume that Eli is a particle, right? So this means particle at rest. When v of t equal to 0. That's when you see a bunch of white boy running on a babka by nuns, and go run all the way down to Steel Lake. You run down to Steel Lake or run down to where and come back? Where do you guys run to? Bennett, where do you run to?
We usually run down Conway.
Huh?
We usually go down Conway. Like,
Yeah,
to
but you go to Mormon Church this way, right?
sometimes.
And when do you stop? You stop at Mormon Church or you stop
The
fire department?
fire department is, I think.
You stop at fire department? Okay. Okay. So V of t equal to 0 is a particle at rest. That means he run to like a fire station and he turn around. Now he could have continuous running, of course, but he could have like rest over there and then run more. So particle at rest is a V of t equal to 0. Now V of t equal to 0 can possibly be changing direction as well. Changing direction if there was a change in sign. If there's a change in sign. So if they were changing from negative to positive or positive negative, then that's going to be a changing sign. That's a velocity, right? So velocity equal to 0, that's going to be like this.
There's change.
Changing sign. So I say if you're changing from positive to negative. So velocity has a directions. So V of t has a directions. Now, how do I find the average velocity? How do I find an average velocity from positions? What'd you say?
1 over b
Times what? Okay, so good. Good idea, but if I give you a position function, you don't need to take an integral. So what if it's a position function is given, what do you do? Well, it's not going to be f, but it's going to be positions over changing time, right? So that means s of b minus s of a over b minus a. So this is the average velocity. Is that okay? But that's only if s of t is given. What if v of t is given? How do you find average velocity? How do you do that? If v of t is given. Yeah, integral. So if I integral v of t like this, right? Between a to b, what am I gonna get? If I integrate of v, it's gonna get what? Yep, s of t between b and a. So this is equal to s of b minus s of a. First of all, is that a average velocity? Because the integrate v is s. Yeah, so it's integrate of s of b minus is equal to s of b minus s of a. Is that average velocity? No. You still need to do that. So let's talk about that. Yeah, so the average velocity is equal to integration of v of t dt is equal to s of b minus s of a. But the problem is it's missing this part. And that becomes the average velocity because this average value of velocity. Average velocity. So sometimes I can give you a velocity function. You're going to say, oh, okay, well, that's that. And if you really think about it, right, this is a meter. This is a second. So meter divided by second is a meter per second, which is a velocity. That's another way to think about how to think about units. Now, can you tell me what's average acceleration? What is the average acceleration if a velocity is given? Yeah. Changing v over changing time is equal to v of b minus v of a over b minus a. That's average acceleration. Now let's talk about one of the thing in here. Can you tell me what's the difference between distance or total distance versus displacement? Right? Can you tell me the difference between total distance and displacement? Caden?
Total distance is the amount of distance that you have moved over a certain time period. Displacement is how far you have moved compared to your starting point, right?
Good. Okay, and I know Nelly's gonna say that, but now here's a question to ask Nelly. What would be the equation difference between those two? Because I'm gonna ask you a harder question.
We learned this in September. I don't remember.
Oh my god. Greenwald.
Yeah, we learned this when I was still in that's a lot.
Greenwald.
It's been a while.
Why do you think
Mr. Greenwald. Nelly doesn't remember the difference between. Baden? Shh.
Would be like the two inside they might say then the total distance is the speed times the time or the average velocity times time.
Phone a friend who? Greenwald? Hey, Mr. Greenwald. use the phone there.
This is definite indefinite.
Okay, so let's just give you that idea. The total displacement is gonna look like this. That's the distance changing. The total distance is slightly different. Is what? Slightly different. What do you think? Well, now you learn something new. That's why you should not start my homework before I.
The first question is finding velocity. Bless you.
This is so hard. So many questions. Okay. What's the difference between total distance displacement? No. Nobody can answer that. Huh? Nope. Now the absolute value is the inside, not outside. There's a difference between inside and outside. If it's outside, it's gonna make the displacement positive. If it's inside, it's gonna make something happen. For example, let Eli decide to run. So this is a time. Oh, so that's not a time. This is a B of t, and this is a time, right? And so, for example, does a function look like this? So let's just say between 0 to 6. If I were to do integration between 0 to 6, then what is my displacement? If I were to do integration between 0 to 6, what's my displacement? Why 0? It pretty much just cancel out, right? This part is green, this part is red, and it's a constant cancel out. I have no displacement. So it's like Eli running from Olympiad, go to fire station and running back. And I'm gonna say, hey Eli, you have 0 displacement, run again. Right? But Eli is gonna argue with me, says, dude, it's not that total displacements matter, it's a total distance matter. So that means I can make this graph. This will be a displacement situation. But the total distance is going to be like Eli's going to argue with me. Says, hey, look. is this way. Because anything negative is positive. I'm running positive distance if I'm running to a fire station. I'm still running positive distance when I'm running backwards. And that's what, instead you're going to get 9, and this is the total distance. And this is the velocity graph. This is a velocity graph, and this is total displacement. Does that make sense? Is this okay? So when I ask you total distance, guess what? Integration from A to B, absolute value B of t. And that's why we have absolute value function right there. We have that's on the test. That's why we have that. So I can give you a function of 2x minus 1. And you're going to put absolute value on it. Right? Now, speeding up and slowing down. Who should I pick on today? Halen? Neo? Jesus volunteer you, Neo. What do you think about that?
Volunteer to Zeus back.
I literally volunteered
I
all last
volunteer
year.
to Zeus. I volunteer.
I was doing the subject all of last year. Literally all of last
You don't understand how much I tortured Jesus last year. Apparently it's not enough. All right, so let me write it down for you, so that way hopefully you guys understand. Speed up. Now realize acceleration and velocity has a direction vector, so it has a direction. It can be positive or negative, right? So speed up is basically equal to when a of t and v of t have the same sign. Okay. Slow down of an object is equal to a of t and v of t have opposite sign. Does that make sense? Is this okay? Have opposite sign. One is positive, one's negative. One is negative, one's positive. But let's talk about direction first. Let's just say, who should I pick on? Who should I pick on?
New Year's Eve.
Huh?
New Year's Eve.
I think Liam is good. Cannot pick on his 2 years, right? That would be bad.
That'll be a 3.
Huh?
No.
Make it 3.
Come on, Liam.
Oh, that's theory. This should be punishment for that.
I'm glad. You didn't know projectile motion. I knew and I dropped the class.
Can't record.
Oh, this was worse.
So, Liam here is a Superman. He's got a belt. Right? That's how tall are you? 6'3". Okay. Muscular, how much you weigh? 190? Okay. Yeah, definitely Superman material. So that's why I picked Liam, not picking his suit.
That's not cool.
I'm sorry.
What's important is what's up here.
You're not a. You can compare with that. So this is a stop sign, and not to say Mr. Yates is always very happy to go to school. Not in the morning. Okay, so let's say if I'm going to school, I'm very happy. I want to go to school, and I'm saying positive direction is I'm going to school. So I'm driving the car, and that's a stop sign right there. And this guy is a Superman. My velocity is going this way, right? My velocity is going there. When I see the stop sign, I try to press the brake, but Mr. Yes car has no brake because he fakes his brake. What does Superman has to do? He has to slow him down. So he's gonna have to push against me. So he's the acceleration. I'm the velocity. So I'm coming forward. So you're gonna have to stay there, and you're gonna have to stop me because Want me to stop at a stop sign. So I'm coming forward. He had to push against me. He's some weight. Right? You had to push. You had to push, right? Right? So in order for me to stop here, now my velocity is positive, my acceleration is negative. So therefore, that's how we slow it down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, when I'm passing the stop sign, Mr. Is caused too cheap. His car stalled. He want to go to school. His velocity is still positive, right? But his acceleration, now that's Superman, so what he's going to have to do? He had to push me. So I have to go this way. So my velocity and acceleration in the same direction. Therefore, I'm speeding up. Now, going back home, I'm going to see face my wife. I'm like, oh, I'm not looking for this. I'm in trouble, right? And then so it's negative. So I'm going this is negative, right? And I still see the same stop sign. My velocity is negative because I'm going back. Now, what does he have to do? He had to push, but what's his acceleration? Positive. So they are opposite sign. So that's how I slow down. And the same thing on the other one. I don't need him to dress up as Superman.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
Wow.
You still being some roast created.
Why do you never give me a fist bump when I
Come back after school. What?
Why do you never give me a fist bump when I for the 2 years? Yeah.
Not hurt you. You know you hurt you. Bye-bye, Mr. A. Have fun.
So, are you gonna be in Olympic science? You don't be, or are you gonna be in science? Yeah. 7 days. I mean, it's up to you. I don't want to say yes or no, but it's up to you. But I remember you told me that you're gonna do math, but I don't know. So you depends on what your preference is. I don't really mind, but yeah, I would prefer, but it's not. I don't want to. You have to. But that takes that. That's more useful. Like in real life, yes, that's second. That here I learned what the balance. Well, take it easy now.
I'm not thinking that.
Have like 15 minutes for class. Yeah. Yeah. Think you would have known. You got I don't know why. Everyone heard talking. I feel like you should have said something. You're just on your phone. Wait, so you're finishing grading?
Yeah, we got finished ready very quick. And waiting for me. Okay, get your rep in now. We're gonna finish grading this very quickly. We're not gonna spend too much time on it, so. Make sure you add up all the check marks. I don't know how many check marks it is.
Yeah, whenever I'm gonna have 4 children, that's my problem.
4 children?
4 children.
Can you afford them?
Can I afford it?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
I don't know how my dad is balling like that, you know what I mean? Both figuratively and metaphorically. That's the same thing. I mean, if I give up on this and start doing what he does, that's just probably. Yeah.
You're lying. Alright, let's count out how many check marks they have so far, and then add whatever check mark they have later. So, we're gonna get done really quickly, so because we're gonna move on to the next subject. What?
Okay, well,
I actually have two papers, so I'll keep one for him.
Bro, hit the button.
Fail him.
Yeah.
It's okay. You have my permission. Okay, so hopefully you finish grading the third page. And then we're gonna go to last page. Last page is super easy. Last page, basically, they have to have it write out like F, which is future value. They don't have to do that. They have 12,000. 1 plus 0.09 over 12 times 10 year times 12. And that should give you 29,416.28, I think. This should give you one check mark. F equal to, the next one is 12,000. E to the 0.09 to the 10. And this one should give you 29515.24. Thank you. The next one is you need to take the future value to 40,000. So that's a future value. The current value is 12,000 times 1 plus 0.08 to the 2 to the compound semi-annually, so it'd be 2t. So if you write down this part, it's going to give you one check mark. If you solve for it, it's going to give you, that says 10 over 3 equal to 1.04 to the 2t. And it's going to be natural log of 10 over 3 equal to 2t times 1.04. T is equal to 15.348 years. So this one should give you another check mark. This one's kind of hard. So this one's 2 check mark. Sydney is purchasing a car, 32,000, Kia Sports, right? Kia Sports.
no, yeah.
15% depreciation, 7 years. Her car's only worth this much money after 7 years. That's a very, very optimistic estimate view. Why are you taking a picture?
I was featured on Mystery A test.
Huh?
I was featured on Mystery A test. That's like crazy.
Oh. So this question will be 5 check mark. This one, how many check mark on this page? 16? No, page third page. 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. Yeah. So that's 10. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
After they spelled out and not
16.
well, give them
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
as long as they hit this.
So 15 plus 16, 31. 41. Totally out of 41 check mark. Hold on, let me see which one I want to give you extra check mark to.
That's not the same thing.
Oh, I did.
Rounder. Is the back
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Just write down whatever out of 41. I will give you 5-point extra credit on top of that, but do not put it in. I'll put it in at the end. So something out of 41. 41 total.
What? How much is it again? Wait.
41 check mark. So something out of 41, write down a percentage. If you write it out, I'll add 5% later. Do not add a 5%.
I didn't think it was that hard. I'm taking it. You're in the microphone.
If you can write using calculator, if you got a percentage, it'll be whatever score out of 41. If you're done, give it back to me. Sure. This is bad. Oh, this is worse. This is good. This is good. Who was that? Yeah, I got a 36.
That's me? Who's me? I'll take it.
I could have gotten the extra.
Wait, is there 5 extra points on this?
No, I will add later.
Yeah. I know someone. You think you got above a C? You think you got above a C? With the extra or without it? Okay, well, he's gonna give you a- No, you got it.
No, he adds it.
Doesn't matter if you did extra.
I mean, that's without plus 5. So.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like he just added a question as like if you didn't do it, you got 2 wrong.
It could be like the end of the quarter.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the code. GS 95. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, G595. Who's G? 7927. Last 422, maybe. I predict that score. Get him, bro. Predict the score as well. What did you get?
79.
Oh god. LJ 55? What's LJ 55?
That's good.
Who's that? No. CL 29? Ashley?
What did you get wrong?
GJ 14?
He marked the extra credit. What's it on? Oh.
Well, like when you ask 5 you'll be at
DJ 21?
I'm just happy this is the 30. It's like he adds 5 points, like it covers that.
LO 45?
Oh, that's mine.
PM
Kind of.
97?
Okay, so
And it's like
GJ
already 80.
pre-break.
95?
If I took the test, I could not.
95?
What did I even get wrong?
CE 17?
It's a problem. It's last first. Okay, last two. I think you're the
PE 36 ML01 YA 700 CD 31 MS 66 RE 67 PO 92 ER is that's you, right?
Watch him not even have your
Okay.
Be like, pass me after class.
8538
Retake it. Retake it.
PA 72 No? Diego? No. Oh, that's bad. Not good.
That's not good. I mean, maybe good pizza.
78.
Like times two, like.
Who else did get a test?
Damn.
Oh, yeah, I feel bad.
You mean?
I think good. Anybody else?
Brother.
No idea who it was.
Were you like one decimal?
What have you been doing? Oh, that. I didn't put it in the calculator. These things.
Still the same answer.
Why did they give me only half? I'm good. What is it? 35.
Yeah, you
Let's forget. Okay, I got 85. I need that half. I got half. Let's start doing that. Well, I just said
See, I'll get notes.
I was like, I thought I did so good for once.
Like,
Oh, like I could have done this. I know, but I was like, a weird route.
Mr. Yeah.
It was easy.
Did you get one check or not?
None.
I got one.
So I'm getting a 80. That means I won. And then you said a C, I said a B. Fuck my. I don't know. I'm no way.
I mean, I would love it. I had like a 103.
Bro.
It's 5 extra check marks.
Yeah.
So what did we learn? Not to read like yeah. Usually go back to the next one.
Seven? Yeah.
Alright, I'll give you 2 more minutes to look at it. I'll be back. You cannot put LN behind it. E and LN on top of it.
You got enough
You know what you're
Come on,
doing? You know what you're doing? If you're done, you can give it back to me. Not bad, not bad.
I gave you a seat.
Well, first, you got the long function, which is those side where you stack it on the side.
Well, like, if you like, add
Okay, my score.
If I forgot, I get half credit if I didn't forgot to put in negatives, like I didn't put anything there. You did for sure. My turn is no, 5 is not, is it 5% or 5?
Bad.
You need to show work. You need to show work. I don't know what you're doing. You had to write it out. Hey, everybody.
I need to have you're locked in the wind just like my grade. Bro, he's calling me.
All right, so make sure you go back to understand logarithm. If you don't understand, if you got low score, you're more welcome to stay after. Just kind of go over it and make sure you understand everything. Okay. So this is circle of life.
Oh yeah. This is 0, 90, 180, 27.
Sorry, you want to get.
This is how it goes. Oh yeah.
All right, so I know you're probably more enticing to go to like yes. Okay, come here again. you're probably very excited to about learning about unit circle. Honestly, I would tell you unit circle is actually the easiest subject in my class, just because usually I will go through it in very detail and make sure you understand everything. So, I want you to understand in such a way with align with how I teach. Align with how I teach. So please don't go up to YouTube video or you find out like some TikTok video says this is how you memorize unit circle. I don't wish that, just because it's gonna be hurting in the long run, because some people use finger like say it's like 3 4 5 stuff like that. I don't think that's a proper way to look at it. But right now we're gonna go through what is a proper way to look at it. So we're gonna go into look for unit circle. And not only that, on unit circle, so the way I want you to look at it is probably like this. But we're gonna go through all that. Okay. Also, oh sorry, is it showing or not showing? Okay. Also, for the matter of things, I need you to understand in the way that I want you to understand, not the way what other video out there and maybe help you easy, but try to learn it my way, because I've told you it's gonna help you in the long run. I usually create something that's gonna help you not only in this topic, will help you in multiple different ideas, so that way you can get better. Now, unit circle, you are gonna have a quiz soon. I don't know when. Probably Monday. Either you can get 0 or 30 points. You cannot get somewhere in between. That means you make one space wrong, then that means you get a 0. If you got one space wrong, I don't grade anymore. I just stop grading. I'll announce your name. I rip your test into piece papers and I shred it, and then I embarrass you in front of the whole class. Yeah. The funny thing is this, though. The funny thing is this. One year, I got called in the principal's office, and the principal is like, "Mr. Ye, I heard that you